إلهنا ما أعدلك مليك كل من ملك.
Hadith number 4 clearly says, whoever has the means to sacrifice. This means the amount of wealth which is necessary with which a person can sacrifice an animal. The fuqaha have explained that it is that amount which makes a person liable to give sadaqatul fitr or zakah. Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullah alayhi says, regards to the reliability of the fuqaha and their understanding of the deen of Allah, this is not related to udhiyah but in general. Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullah alayhi says, كذلك قال الفقهاء وهم أعلم بمعاني الأحاديث. This is what the fuqaha have said, and they have the most knowledge in regards to the meanings of the ahadith. Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullahi alayhi is one of the greatest Muhadditheen of this ummah and a very close student of Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi, from whom Imam Bukhari himself benefited. His declaration and trust of the fuqaha of this ummah is very important indeed. The ummah can easily be led astray and misinterpret the Qur'an and Sunnah if they ignore these basic principles of understanding the Sharia from the rightful sources and get deeper into misguidance. This is why it is of utmost importance that we take our religious knowledge from the fuqaha of the ummah, who were the direct or indirect students of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Sayyidina Jabir radiyallahu ta'ala says, we departed with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the state of ihram for Hajj. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam commanded us that 7 of us can partner or share in a cow or a camel. In a different hadith, Sayyidina Jabir radiyallahu ta'ala says, we sacrificed with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the year of Hudaybiyah, and 7 of us partnered and shared on a camel and 7 on a cow. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala says that a person came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, I am wealthy enough to slaughter a camel, but I am unable to find and purchase one. So he commanded him to buy 7 goats and slaughter them in its place. The first of the above hadith is a command of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the second one shows the amal of that command being practiced by the Sahaba. After narrating the above hadith, Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullahi alayhi explains the amal of the ummah and declares, وَالْعَمَلُ عَلَى هَذَا عِنْدَ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم وغيرهم يرون الجزور عن 7 والبقرة عن 7 وهو قول سفيان الثوري والشافعي وأحمد. The amal of the people of the knowledge from the companions of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and others whose opinion is that a camel has 7 shares and a cow has 7 shares. This is the opinion of Imam Sufyan Thawri, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad rahimahumullah. This proves that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has compared 7 shares to 7 goats. This also proves that a goat is only 1 share. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala says, Al-Baqaratu wal-Jazur an 7. A cow and a camel can be shared by 7 people. Sayyida Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala says, a camel and a cow can have 7 shares. Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala, Sa'id ibn Musayyib rahmatullahi alayhi, and Hassan Basri rahmatullahi alayhi all say, Al-Baqaratu an 7 wal-Jazur an 7. A cow and a camel each can have 7 shares. Imam Sha'bi rahmatullahi alayhi says, أدركت أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وهم متوافرون كانوا يذبحون البقرة والبعير عن 7. I have found and met the Sahaba of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in abundance, and they all used to sacrifice cows and camels for 7 shares on each one of them. Imam Ibrahim Nakha'i rahmatullahi alayhi says, the Sahaba of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam would say that a camel and a cow have 7 shares. Imam Ibrahim Nakha'i and Imam Sha'bi rahimahumullah their words saying that the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum's amal was such and such indicates that this was more or less the ijma and consensus of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum. The general ruling is that there is only one share on a sheep, goat or a ram. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, Ash-shatu an wahid, a goat is only one share. If someone doesn't have the means to sacrifice due to lack of income and wants to still participate in the reward with his household, so they get the reward of udhiyah in the 3 days of udhiyah, even though udhiyah isn't necessary upon them, but he can still slaughter a sheep or goat on behalf of his household due to the following hadith. Imam Ata ibn Yasar says, I asked Sayyidina Abu Ayyub Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu regarding the sacrifice in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He replied, a person would sacrifice a goat from himself and on behalf of the members of his family so they can eat and feed others. Thereafter people started to compete and it became, as you can see. Obviously this is not the annual compulsory udhiyah or Qurbani, but optional, so that they don't lose out on the great rewards of udhiyah in these special days. Because the hadith of Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is very clear that a goat can have only one share. It is narrated that Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu and Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu would not sacrifice on behalf of their household due to the fear that people would make it a sunnah practice. It is evident from this that the udhiyah or qurbani done on behalf of the household is for the reward and not the annual compulsory udhiyah or qurbani. Imam Ibn Hazm rahmatullahi alayhi says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has not prevented more than 10 or 7 people to share in the reward on a nafl, meaning non-obligatory udhiyah, but rather he sallallahu alayhi wasallam even joined his whole ummah in the reward of his sacrifice.
مليك كل من ملك